Welcome to Learnery Channel, and today we'll be taking a look at the case of Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie on the loss of their 21-year-old son. Um, it's a very sad one for Nigeria as a nation, and also for the family of Chimamanda. Our medical system failed us. Like it failed us, it failed them, and if nothing is done, it will continue failing us. We complain about a lot of things in this country. Like we complain about the economy, we complain about security, up until to our health. We fight for our lives to stay alive, and up to the end. Even when you get sick, you are not assured that you'll be taken care of in a nation you call your country, and in a nation that you feel like this is home and where you belong to. What was very heartbreaking about this case is that it's a situation that would have been avoidable if due diligence were taken in place. And due diligence we mean and being careful are the people that we are called the experts in those jobs, in those fields, that are supposed to handle it, that are supposed to handle it effortlessly and being careful because they know they are dealing with human life. You see them being carefree, like treating human being as if they are not human. So my heartfelt condolences to the family of Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, and we'll be listening and taking a look from a doctor's perspective, and let's get into it. Also, at the course of this discussion, we still take a look at Ngozi Adichie's comments, statements, and also the recent development on the report. So stay tuned. We will dissect everything as we go on. Let's get into it.
And for more on this particular development on medical negligence, we have joined us on the news this hour, Dr. Yusuf Harun. Thank you so much for joining us on the news at this hour.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be with you this hour.
Yeah, this is quite a sad development, talking about the issue of medical negligence. How can this be reduced drastically in Nigerian hospitals?
Nigeria is a country with its peculiarity, and medical negligence is one of the negligences Nigerians have been facing for decades. For example, this case of Chimamanda Adichie, which happened on the 7th of January 2026 at Ureke Hospital, when she was alleged that her son was administered with propofol sedation and the child developed cardiac arrest, and there was no proper monitoring. This is a grievous allegation. If it is true, the license of the hospital must be taken away. The doctors or the anesthetists responsible must also be sued to court. If he or she is found guilty, they must also withdraw their license, and heavy legal suits must be paid. Let's look at United States, for example. In America, when there is an inquest into a sudden death like this, the people have to take crucial measures to find out the cause of this death. There have to even be an autopsy by the chief coroner. I don't also want this to only be by Chimamanda Adichie because she is a prominent person in the society. What about the common woman selling pepper who also lost her 21-month-old child or son because
That's another thing. People will say, okay, is it because of is Chimamanda? It's not her fault that she has mediums to speak out. It's not her fault that she had mediums to speak out and for people to hear actually what happened. We know these things have been going on, but like to some point, it seems like our hands are tied because as a nation, the most pathetic thing about living in Nigeria is that if it doesn't happen to you, or if it doesn't happen to someone you know or any of your relative, you don't much care about it. You seem like to pay less attention. Okay, it have happened, it have happened. There's a so it's heartbreaking to say this is to some points because it might have happened to anybody, but only God knows the reason why it took this way. And surely I hope they get the justice, and also for them to also get to the root of the matter. And just like the doctor said, everything now it's allegedly, we all know that Chimamanda still came out to make a statement, but it's still being looked into. So I am hoping that they get to the root of the matter and get clarity on what actually happened.
Cause of medical negligence. That one is swept under the carpet. I believe that there should be a massive reforms in the hospital. Even as a medical doctor, I am sad to see that many doctors and nurses and all paramedics show high level of negligence when it comes to health. I have seen with my eyes many patients die out of negligence. I remember a particular hospital, which was a government hospital, when a patient was rushed into the hospital, bleeding from road traffic accidents.
Oh.
Nothing was done. People were even carrying their phones to video it and post it online until this person lost a lot of blood, developed what we call hypovolemic shock, and the person went into death. What are we doing in cases like this in Nigeria? The level of negligence is at its peak, and I believe there should be massive reforms.
And about this thing he said about, okay, somebody rushing in from an accident and nobody's caring about him or her. Another thing is, I've had this experience, first-hand experience, whereby somebody that came in like that rushed in the hospital for like with a gunshot, like with a gun wound, and you see them asking for police reports. Like, if you treat this guy, he's not going anywhere. You can still hold him down while you get to the police and get to anything you want to get over with. You see, like when it comes to taking, you only see them in action when it comes to taking measure that they know that it will avoid them working, or it will avoid them getting into this. Like in a situation where somebody comes in, they want to know the procedure. But if it comes to a situation where they need to take action to, you see them neglecting it. They don't even care. They don't even care about human life. They treat human some point as animals.
Do you know that even there should be legal teams where every individual, every patient can sue a doctor for medical negligence? If you feel that the patient died out of miscare, the patient should sue the family to the hospital. The family of the patient should sue the doctor. And this is something which we shouldn't take lightly. It is coming into the media all over the news because it is a prominent person. But what about the common man and woman on the street that have been facing medical negligence by we doctors? What has been done?
Dr. Harold, can we be a bit specific about some key reforms that need to be put in place to forestall incidences of medical negligence?
Thank you very much for this specific question. I remember when the Lagos State coroner then, Professor John Obafunwa, was the chief coroner in Lagos State. He emphasized primarily on medical negligence and he went after his colleagues, doctors. He even stated in Lagos State at that time, this is about 15 years ago, that there should not be any burial or any death certificate. Before you can issue a death certificate to anybody, you should make sure that the etiology of the death is certified by a coroner. But there was a loud uproar, especially from the religious organizations, because we know that some people have to bury their dead immediately. So they said they don't want this law, and because of the sensitivity of the politics in Lagos State, it was abrogated or it is not followed to the letter. So this is a specific reform that should be.
That's kind of another situation that you look at and be like, are these people even thinking, trying to make a reform that we make sure that everything goes where you see them talking about religion and everything. Like, if you are to get where, is it not when you get where? Is it not when you are in your right state of mind and your health is okay that you can practice religion, or when you get to root of the matter? Like, what was it like? Oh, shit.
First, I'm not saying that all deaths should go into autopsy, but when there are suspicions of death, like this particular one, of Nnamdi, and not only because Chimamanda is a prominent person or figure in the society, also the common bricklayer that lost his son in a hospital due to medical negligence or suspicion, there should also be an inquest. An autopsy should be carried out, and the full transparent cause of this death should be made public in the society.
Yeah, the only thing I will say here is that get more funds to the medical, to the health sector, equip these people to the highest point that we ever want, like every equipment that we need, everything that the personnel, equip them so these people don't go outside, so these doctors don't go outside. You have your best hand at home. Have your best hand at home. This thing will not happen. It's not like making only laws that we enrich the senators and enrich those holding public powers. This is not like, this isn't fair. It's not because it's Chimamanda, it can happen to anybody, but is in this situation that we have somebody that it happened to that is able to speak out and also have the power to move things and make the reform. Like if it's kind of disheartening, man.
What's going on? Nigeria has to make certain reforms in our society to stop this medical negligence by doctors and medical practitioners.
Dr. Yusuf, it's a fine place to leave it, as the Lagos State government has sympathized with Chimamanda Adichie.
It's not about Lagos State. It's not about the state government sympathizing. They will always sympathize. What are they going to do? They will tell you, they will investigate it. At the end of the day, it's a private hospital. You know how this thing works. But I hope and I pray that they get to the root of the matter. So, before we end it, let's just take a look at some point, like in Chimamanda's statement, where we can see like what he said, like what she said about what happened. And you can see here, like in this line, he was saying, you can go read the full statement on Rise channel on Twitter. So you can see, like coming here, you see a short time later, Dr. M came out and told me that Kano had already given too much propofol by the anesthesiologist. Like, are you not supposed to like check it? Is it not something you measure? You know, you are dealing with a kid. Is it not something you be careful about? You see, like you had to become more responsive and was quickly resuscitated. Like, how did he get to this point? Like, and if you take from the beginning, the boy was doing fine. The boy was stable when they arrived to the hospital. So another report that came in that we saw about the questions that are being asked, like the claims that the hospital made, as you can see here, even like since there was no monitoring, like they didn't monitor the boy even after giving him the propofol. And is it possible to accurately document when the child stopped breathing, or for how long he was pulseless before he was resuscitated? Like, just like you mentioned, then coming in to tell her that he was, like, how long was it? What happened between that time? So, like, this kind of heartbreaking to know, and it's coming from our medical body. Like, it's so sad. It's so sad. And the same medical sector, you can see the case of Anthony Joshua, even at the accident that happened, to the point that how long they stayed there, no ambulance, nothing was carried. They had to use army van to take Anthony Joshua to the hospital. So it's kind of disheartening. Like, it hurts me, like, in a nation where it claims to be giant of Africa and we have enough resources and wealth, you see, we don't value our life to some extent. So thank you for staying this far, and I will see you in the next video. Like, this is already disheartening, man. Thanks.